All right, here we go. Come on in. Boston has entered the chat. Let's get this chat started. Travis Thomas here with Adam Pellerin. And my goodness, my friend, the NBA Finals are all set in stone. Here we go, Adam. Celtics back in it to win it, going against Luka and the Mavs and our old friend Kyrie.
Oh, man, I can't wait. This is what's supposed to happen, right? You need to see this NBA Finals matchup. I didn't want to see the Timberwolves, even though it would have been 17 years in the making with the KG trade and all that. But no, we got to see Kyrie Irving back in Boston facing the Celtics in the NBA Finals.
You couldn't script it better in Hollywood. As always, this is Boston has entered the chat. That means all of us interactive. Get involved here. 617-790-0928. Hit us up on the hotline. Also, email us, thechat@nesson.com. Send us your tweets. Do it all. Bring it on. So much to talk about. Adam, let's start with what's trending right now in sports. Of course, Nick Pivetta was absolute lights out last night. He tied Roger Clemens for the Red Sox record for 8 straight strikeouts, albeit in a loss against the Tigers. But my man was throwing gas at him.
Yeah, now it's a nice bounce back for him, too, after his last start against the Brewers didn't go so well, even though the Red Sox end up losing 5-0. At least it's a step in the right direction for Pivetta.
And, of course, a surprise to no one. What's trending? Sound the alarms. Celtics, Mavs, set in stone now, and that's where we're going to start here. I mean, look, anytime you're talking Mavericks, you have to talk Kyrie and Luka. I mean, these two are just ridiculous. The Celtics clearly are going to have their hands full from a defensive perspective against those two. But, I mean, look, the Mavs are going to have their hands full too because the Celtics don't just go too deep with Tatum and Brown. There are other pieces. We know Kristaps Porzingis back in the fold as well. How do you sort of see this matchup? Obviously, we're going to talk about it till we're blue in the face until we get to game one. But let's break it down now, at least early reactions here.
Yeah, so I know you don't read into the regular season too much, but the Celtics won both of those games in Dallas back in January by 9 and then blew them out in Boston on March 1st by 28. But in both of those games, Luka Doncic had a triple-double. Jaylen Brown drew the assignment for the most part, played him as tough as he could, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, and he was quoted in The Athletic talking about, like, matching up against Luka Doncic and wanting to pick him up full court and trying to make him work, but also trying to make him work by playing good offense as well. So trying to tire him out, because after that, Travis, I don't really know how the Mavericks can beat the Celtics outside of Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, during this finals run for them, they have had other players step up for them, Lively, a Gafford, a P.J. Washington, but it's not consistent. It's like on any given night, one of those pieces can step up and be your third fiddle, but it's not a consistent third piece like a Kristaps Porzingis is for the Celtics. I think he's the X factor in this finals, Adam. I really do. I mean, obviously, we talk about all the storylines, Kyrie coming back to Boston, Tatum and Brown, both great players, still searching for that first ring, which I do believe they will get. But we don't really talk about Kristaps Porzingis going against his old team here. I mean, there's a little bit of vengeance for him too. Obviously, he's been out with the injury, so there's that part of it, of him wanting to prove I'm healthy, I'm a baller, let's go, I am an X factor, and then he's going against his old team. So I think Porzingis will be the difference. In other words, yes, the Mavericks have a dynamic duo, but the Celtics technically do have a big three here. And then, oh, by the way, there's Derek White. Oh, by the way, there's a champion, Drew Holiday. You know, Adam, I'm going to go Celtics in 6 here. I really do. I just think the depth, and I think Porzingis will be the difference.
Yeah, I think Celtics in 6 is a good one. I would look at the Mavericks, however, not to discredit the run that they went on during the postseason, right? They beat the Clippers. You know, Kawhi only played a couple of games in that series, but then they took down the Thunder. They were the number 1 seed in the conference. SGA, you know, was obviously had an outstanding year. PJ Washington stepped up in that series, I think, scoring wise.
Yep.
I think he led the Mavericks in like 2 or 3 games in that series. And then this Timberwolves team, young, energetic, very good. I mean, a lot of people were picking the Timberwolves to win that series. Instead, the Mavs, they went in 5, and they really dominated the closeout game. And I think part of it was the fact that Timberwolves uniforms were just gross, by the way. Why are you wearing those in a game that you need to survive? I don't know. It just kind of stood out to me.
Yeah, me too. I agree with you, my friend. Look, obviously, all the talk's going to be about Kyrie coming back to Boston. Yeah, you were here during that time, covering that team. What is it going to be like? Just set the picture for me. What are these finals going to be like every time this guy comes into the Garden?
Well, when he came to the Garden as a member of the Mavericks, earlier this year, they were booing him. I can't imagine what the response is going to be. I hope they boo him out of the building. I hope they're rowdy. I know they will be. Just honestly, holster the water bottles, and don't go over the line. Just do it. Do Boston proud by giving him as much grief as possible, but doing it the right way, period.
Yeah. No, that's well said. And listen, I think that's going to happen. And listen, to be fair, even though they're going to keep it as classy as you can, I don't think they're going to throw stuff or act ignorant in that way. I do think they're going to heckle him to all get out. But I will say this, I think Kyrie's going to cook him too. I think, unfortunately, we're going to watch this guy go off in the Garden, albeit in a losing effort. I just don't believe the Mavericks are going to beat the Celtics in this series. I believe the Celtics are the better team. I think they've proven that all year long. Again, I keep going back to this for a reason. The depth is the difference here. The Mavs, although they have some really good players, I'm not calling their guys outside of their superstars scrubs. They're not, but they are not as deep as the Celtics. And I also believe they are beholden. The Mavericks are beholden to their 2 superstars. The Celtics are, as corny as it sounds, Adam, they are the quintessential team. They bond together. Whoever has a hot hand on any given night can beat you. I'm going Celtics, a better team. Sounds like you and I are both going Celtics in 6. Let's look at the schedule here. It's all set, baby. Game 1, Thursday night, 8:30 in Boston. Get ready to boo Kyrie. All right, let's bring in my man, former Celtic and a key part of that 2008 championship team, Leon Powe, also very important. He is the president and the judge of C's Nation. Welcome in, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you. C's Nation, man. We in the building. Your judge is here. No one is safe.
Here comes the judge. All right, now, I want to get to your tweets because you've been going hard in the paint here, specifically at all the haters and even at ESPN's Get Up show where we saw it. They made something out of nothing, saying that Jason Tatum wasn't happy for Jaylen Brown when he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Went so far, Leon, as to zoom into my man's face. He was smiling. I don't know what the big deal was. I guess they thought he wasn't cheesing hard enough, but you went on a tweet storm. Let's get into it. As the president and judge of C's Nation, you will also be judged for your crimes against the Celtics. No one is safe. This is one of the most ridiculous takes I've ever heard in my life. Now, you mind readers, JT was clapping and smiling. Looks happy to me. For your next segment, just give Miss Cleo a call. Call me now. Maybe she could do a better job mind reading than you can. I love this from you. I mean, I have to imagine it was just clickbait, them trying to just get people talking here, Leon. But it was ridiculous. These guys are tight, are they not?
Yeah, man. These guys are tight. They together. That's why they got this far. They in the NBA Finals for a reason. They've been the best team all year for a reason. And when you do that, you can't help but show togetherness and always want to work together and help each other out on the court. And when one person wins, you all win. And that's the whole thing about it. And that's what we need the message that we need to get across. We can't keep coming up with this clickbait stuff, try to break up the team from the inside. We're not going to do it. Nobody's not going to fall for it. The C's not, C's Nation's not, and you're damn sure your judge is not doing it.
Leon, as someone who won a championship, do you think them winning a title this season puts that to bed, or is the media just going to continue to do this for the rest of these guys' careers?
Yeah, what I think they don't have nothing else to talk about. And so when I woke up one morning, and then I just seen all the C's hate, all the hate. We went to the championship. We've been to like I think the six out of 8 conference finals the last 8 years, something like that.
Right.
And you still want to hate and still want to try to provide division between our team and our players. No, I couldn't stand for it. So I woke up one morning and I said, you know what? They got to be judged. They got to get dealt with. Somebody got to be over the media. It's nobody over them but me now, and that's what I'm going to do because we need to dish out positivity. And also this team is great. This team is great. Just call it what it is. They great, but they got to finish the job. Of course, we know that, but to try to divide the team from within, that's crazy to me. That's clickbait. That's not having nothing to talk about. And we're not going to fall for it. And then me personally, I couldn't take it anymore. I seen the C's Nation crowd, they suffering. They needed somebody out there speaking for them. Perk, we lost them already. So you know what? Your old Polsky over here, game 2, baby. We had to step in and perform the judge duties. And I'm going to hold everybody accountable.
Man, I want to dig back into your social media page. We got to go back to X and talk about Josh Hart's comments that he made, the Knicks guard, talking about Jason Tatum and Derek White being more of an impact player than Jason Tatum. And so let's go to the President Powe tweet. As president and judge of C's Nation, I speak for the people. You've been charged with accessory in the fake takedown of Jason Tatum. Yes, it was another player that originally said this statement. However, you do not get to mislead the good people of C's Nation. You have an obligation to uphold, which didn't happen here. You decided to run this on air to get a reaction. First it was Jaylen Brown. Now it's Derek White. Who else are you going to try to turn against their own? Our mascot, Lucky the Leprechaun? You're now on the repeat offenders list. On to the next. I love the official rulings that come down from your social media page. And I do want to ask you, before we get into the Josh Hart's comments and the debate on Get Up once again, what was the election like for your presidency? How did the voting process work, and how were you elected president of Celtics Nation?
It's a very rigorous system. It's tough to get in. You got to pass all type of background checks and everything. But being me, the card that I have is G2. I got the G2 card. And if everybody know what that is, that's my Game 2 NBA Finals performance. I got that card. So I was able to skip the line just a little bit. And then by default, we had a couple of people fall out of the running. Right in the middle of the race. They fell out. They fell off. And you know what happened? Kendrick Perkins, big as he is, he fell back behind me. I said, you know what? I'm not going to pick you up, big fella. I'm going to take this matter and run with it. All I need was one vote. And I got one vote. I got one vote probably like the same day.
All right. That was it. So we now know how the election process works. With that said, let's get back to Josh Hart's comments calling Derek White more of an impact player. Now, did you have a problem with the comments because it came from Josh Hart, who's a member of the Knicks, who's now sitting at home? Or did you have more of a problem with the fact that the show, Get Up, took the ball, ran with it, and turned it into a conversation about Jason Tatum?
No, see, I have a problem with it's not the player. The player is going to think like the players. That he's like a glue guy too, and that's what he look at as Derek White. It's like a glue guy, does a little bit of everything. Same with him. I have no problems with him saying that. I know what he kind of meant, but on the second hand, when the shows take it, especially Get Up, they take it and then they run with it and then try to get a reaction. What I mean by that is, in the back room, you gotta decide which one you gonna try to which conversation, which take you gonna go over. And what they did in the back room, and they said, you know what, we're gonna go over this take. This take gonna get a great reaction out of everybody, and we're gonna trick the American people. We're gonna trick C's Nations, and we're gonna trick the judge. The judge is not gonna see this one coming. And then when they went out there, I saw right through it. I knew what they was doing. They was trying to come off as apologetic and saying no way possible that could be true. But they wanted a reaction, and they got one from me. Because when you do stuff like that, and everybody knows dang well that Derek White is not better than Tatum. It's not. We just got to all know that. But he's one of our main guys on our team. It's our team, one of our main guys. So when you're doing that and trying to tear us down, and when you and you trying to mislead the people, and I'm here to speak the truth. You can't mislead the people, because I had to bring it back to the truth. And what I got to was, the truth was that they were just looking for a reaction, and they really didn't have nothing to talk about that day, but wanted to find something. But they didn't want to initially say it themselves. So what they do, they use a player to get the job done for them. And that's what I had a problem with.
Leon, separately, Derek White, obviously a role player on this team, excellent player, has been a great fit for the Celtics. You have Drew Holiday. It was a great trade by Brad Stevens, obviously, jumping on that after Milwaukee. You got Damian Lillard, all that stuff. When you played, you had guys like that too. And I was thinking about the roster, and obviously everybody talks about the big three. And then, of course, Rondo's emergence as the team's starting point guard, Kendrick Perkins rounding out, the starting five. But then you had guys like P.J. Brown, you had James Posey, you had Eddie House. You even brought in Sam Cassell, right, who's now on the coaching staff. Just the veteran presence, all these guys contributing, because it takes a team. It's not just the individual. How important were those guys to your team's success that year?
Oh, those guys was very important. I was in there right with them. We had a job to do. And our job was to, whenever called upon, be ready, because any little thing like somebody getting in the game could swing a series, especially coming off the bench when the other team that have no idea what you're about to do. And you go in there and play your hardest and try to get the job done. And that can swing a series. We had multiple players that did that for us. And so our team now is, Derek White is one of the key players on our team. We got a lot of them, though. We got a lot of players that are interchangeable, a lot of players that play defense, a lot of players that switchable. This team is unbelievable, and they selfless. And that's why when you have a selfless team like that, I don't understand the hate that's coming toward their way. But I'm here to back them. I'm here to look out for them. And long as I see the truth and people speaking the truth, you'll be left alone. But you need those guys on your team to win a championship. We don't win our championship without those guys, and I know the C's won't win a championship without their guys either.
Yeah, I understand why you're the president and the judge of C's Nation, because I think you do a great job of interacting with C's Nation, interacting with the fans. Let's go through some more tweets here. This one says, I am speaking for C's Nation. We heard you guys for months talk bad about us. Now we have to listen to you wanting the good people of Celtics Nation to not make the visiting players mad. And also, you want apologies as well. C's Nation, they need to apologize to us. I feel like this tweet was meant for one player in particular, and the fans seem to pick up what you were putting down, Leon. I mean, then you started kind of going back and forth with them. They want us to apologize to a guy who sabotaged and who lied to the team. I'll be there at finals, game one, yelling my head off at the player who lied to us and then stomped at the logo. And you go back and forth with these folks. I mean, obviously, we all know it's the Kyrie Irving effect. Let's just talk about Kyrie back at TD Garden. What will that look like to you?
It's gonna be crazy. The fans, there's no love lost there. I'm gonna tell you like this: there's no love lost there, and we got to get over this trying to spin the narrative. We got to stop doing that. It's just a basketball game. A player coming in that was formerly on our team, the Celtics team. And we trying to win as well as he's trying to win. His fan base will do the same to our players. We got to quit spinning it other ways. Stick to basketball. Keep it at basketball level. And and that's where you're supposed to leave it at. Because when he comes back, best believe. And I told my fans of C's Nation, as their president, as their judge, they can boo. They can do whatever they want. Don't run on the court. Don't be disrespectful in no other way. But normal fan stuff, you can do what you want, because we want to create that environment. That's why we need a home court. That's why we got home court event. We want to create that environment. Mm-hmm. If we're not allowed to create that environment because we worried about what this person might say, what that person might say on this show, might judge us as really talking down to Kyrie. No, we just trying to win the game. I got it from Steve's Nation. They just said they just want to win, and they're gonna boo if they want to cheer. I don't think they're gonna do that. But if they want to do that too, they can. They got their right. That's their right to do it, not us to tell them what to do.
Judge, that's from a fan's perspective, and obviously, as you presiding over the media from a media perspective, give us a player perspective too. What do you think Kyrie's sort of current relationship, or is there one, with the current Celtics players? Obviously, some new faces there, but a lot of familiar faces from his time here. What do you think it is from a player standpoint? Take us behind that curtain.
Now, from a player standpoint, I'm telling you like this, man. I think they got much respect for him. I think they respect his game. I think they like the player too as well. He's just sometimes misunderstood. Sometimes that's what I believe they feel. But coming back, it's no animosity. It's not going to be no animosity. Nobody going to want to hard foul him like that. It's nothing of that nature. But they do have much respect for Kyrie, and as they should. Kyrie is one of the great players of this league, and he deserves respect. But when you're coming in here, you're coming into the jungle. The jungle is no love lost for any player. Mm-hmm. So when you come in here, expect bad intentions. That's all from our fans and from our players too as well. We just not out there trying to hurt nobody. We out there trying to play right. And from a player standpoint, man, you always want to see a former player come back in because you want to get a chance to beat him.
Adam, I want to get you involved in this question as well because I was not here in market for the 2008 championship, and obviously you were. And Leon, I want you to lead here, obviously, but how does this current Celtics team compare to that championship team, or does it at all? Do you see any similarities? No one would know more than you. And then, Adam, I also want to get your take on this as well. Does the current team compare at all, or are they two completely different animals?
We was built a little different than they built. They built to spread the court, switch everything, things like that. We could do that a little bit, but our stuff was more so on defense. We wanted to lock down on defense. We wanted to be tough and physical and take away certain stuff that you're trying to do. But this team right here got a lot of switchable parts and everything, and so they got a lot of like-sized players, which is good. But the 2018 was just built to lock down defensively. And then we shot some threes. We had Ray Allen, we had E-House, Posey. They shot some threes. I would have shot them too if Doc Rivers would have let me, but he told me not to. So I stuck to my game. And but this team is it's some similarities, but it's not a lot of similarities.
All right, from a fan's perspective, Leon, my goodness, it was unbelievable, right? Because of all of the years of not making the postseason. Obviously, when Paul got here, things changed a little bit. He and Antoine were getting it done, making it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, making the postseason. But then you had that lull, those tough years. You had Paul's injury, of course, right, which was devastating. And then the summer of 2007 comes along and you're thinking, okay, the Celtics are going to finally exercise those Tim Duncan draft lottery demons and we're going to get either Kevin Durant or Greg Oden in the draft. That didn't happen. We fall to 5 and you're wondering, okay, where does the team go from here? And then they're able to pull off the trade and bring Ray to town. And then that incentivized Kevin Garnett and said, whoa, they're putting something together here. They pull off the deal with the Timberwolves. Thank you, Kevin McHale, very much for that. Appreciate it. And you got the new big three formed, and you're thinking, wow, look at the star power that Boston has. And so you're really excited, but you got question marks, right? Because neither of those three guys had won before. And so people were asking, can they coexist and can they finally win? And then seeing it come together, and again, from your perspective, Leon, being on that team, with all that star power, guys had to take a step back, right? They couldn't, KG couldn't be putting up the 25 points per game that he did in the past, or Ray couldn't be, the man, right? These guys were the man where they were, but they all had to take a little step back, including Paul, and they were able to do that. So why was it able to work from your perspective?
It was first of all, we lost a lot of games the year before. It was tough. And And give y'all a little inside information. Danny came down and said, I'm not firing anybody. I'm not getting rid of the coach. We're not starting all over again, but I will fix this. And then he stormed out. And every player knew what that meant. It was like somebody's leaving, and he's going to get some more players in here that he feel that can get the job done. So we got to step our game up this summer, work out hard as we can. And yeah, when we came back, we had all those players together. We had a Ray Allen. We had a KG. We lost out in the draft, but he made up for it. And then while I was able to work, we had something called Ubuntu. I can't be all I can be without the next person being all he or she could be. And that means you need to rely on your teammates. Take a step back a little bit. Maybe you're not going to score as much as you used to, but you're going to win more. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a great feeling because nobody ever won a championship on that team. And so, especially out of the big three, I mean. And so when you have guys like that, that's selfless, and then can get the job done too as well. But then you take somebody like KG. He got all this money. He got everything, right? And our first practice, when I seen him practice, he was in a full sweat. He was running up and down the court, and he was doing everything, talking. He's talking to himself too, talking to himself. And we young guys and everybody looking at him like, wow, what is this? And we wondering like, how is he? This is KG. He don't have to do all this. And he turned around and looked at us. He said, y'all late. If I'm in here doing this, y'all should be early.
Wow.
Y'all should be earlier than me.
That's awesome.
And I was like, so if I'm on time, I'm late with him. Oh, I get it now. He said, we got to put in extra work. And if he beat us here, he got everything. And then what we doing? We got to look ourselves in the mirror. And so everybody follows suit, including Paul Pierce too, because he told Paul he wanted me in early.
Yeah, man. Leon, I was thinking about, as you were talking about 2008 team and the run of the postseason, right? So you guys win 66 games in the regular season.
Yeah.
You get the Hawks in the first round. Everybody thinks you're going to steamroll them. It goes 7. Then the next round against LeBron goes 7. Then you got 6 with Detroit, and you got 6 with the Lakers. Let's go back to the first round series. How surprised were you that the Hawks were putting up that kind of fight?
Yeah, I was very surprised. Our whole team was surprised, put it like that. When we used to go up there and play, we used to beat them. But it wasn't no fans there like that. It wasn't like no togetherness there. It didn't feel like they had a sense of like a home base. But when we returned there during the playoff, we beat them just by like 30 points the last game and the game after that at our house in the playoff. Like 2 games, we up 2-0. We like, oh, we're going to come down here. We're gonna get our little party on. We're gonna chill out, and then we're gonna go out to eat, and then we're gonna run through their city, chill out. But then game time came, and we ran out to take the court. We doing our thing. Ran out, and everybody just stopped, including me. I haven't seen nothing like this. I was like, what the heck is going on here? We seen Floyd Mayweather, everybody out there with the towels, the white towels, waving it around, talking crazy to us. They was ready for a fight. We came in there, wasn't ready for a fight. We was ready for them to lay down and just give us the game. So when by the time we realized we was in the fight, it's too late. They already up 8 points on us, and we couldn't never get over that hump to get back in front each and every time we went down there. And so that's what it taught us a real good lesson, though.
I want to ask you about the current team.
Travis. Yeah,
I want to ask about the current team here. Kristaps Porzingis coming back from injury. I mean, look, I look at this, and you talked about this, Leon, and my ears perked up. Everyone's used to this, and I think this is why they create this narrative between Tatum and Brown, but everyone's used to an alpha on a team, leading the team, and get on my back, this is what we're going to do. And this is an actual team. You talked about this earlier. These guys love each other, and that is reflected on the court. That's how they play. It's a lot of unselfishness in this team. So I look at a Porzingis coming back into this lineup as maybe the X factor in the finals here. Once Jokic went out, I thought there goes someone that could put a body on Porzingis and maybe move him to where he wants him. I feel like now I like the matchup of Porzingis in these finals. Can you talk about that X factor nature and just his impact on the finals as you see it, assuming he's 100% now, of course.
Yeah. Assuming he's 100%. But when I'm gonna tell y'all like this, when the NBA let us get Drew Holiday and let us get Porzingis, I don't know what GM did that. I have no clue. Whatever GM around the whole league, it's probably all of them. They need to be looked at. But back to the topic. Porzingis gonna have a big impact, a very big impact, because he is our X factor. You can't guard him. He's 7'3", and he's real legit 7'3". When I seen him in practice, 7'3". And what that does for our team, we got Tatum, we got Brown, we got White out there, we on the wings, and when we do these picks, and teams just like to switch now. But when you switch with us, it's a problem, because now we was taking advantage of that Porzingis matchup before he got hurt. We always take advantage of that Porzingis matchup, and we'd throw it back to him in the post. And I think he was shooting like some crazy percentage out of his post-up touches. And then when they stopped switching, they said, well, you know what? We're going to double Jason Tatum, or double Jaylen Brown. Oh, now you're going to double. Guess what? Porzingis take 2 or 3 steps back from the three-point line. 2 or 3 steps back. Now, people don't know how difficult that is. Now you coming from a tag position, a help position. Now you ain't flying to just the three-point line. You flying beyond the three-point line to get there to try to contest a 7'3" person shot. No, that's not going to happen. And so it creates a lot of mismatches. It just puts the Celtics level on beyond 10, and it's overkill when we get him in the lineup.
I want you to put your judge's robe back on for a second, because there is another narrative that exists out there. So if I could get the president of Celtics Nation and Judge Powe to preside on the bench for a moment, I want to ask you about the Celtics playoff run this year. 12-2, winning in 5, and then sweeping the Pacers. Now, there is a narrative, Judge Powe, that exists that says, okay, the Celtics were able to beat the Heat in 5 without Jimmy Butler. The Celtics were able to beat the Cavs in 5, part of the series without Donovan Mitchell. And the Celtics were able to sweep the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton for the last couple of games of the series. So for people who say the path was easy for the Celtics, you would say what, Your Honor?
Yeah, as Judge Powe and president of C's Nation, what I would say is, yes, those players was hurt. And yes, it's part of the game. And last year when we got hurt, or number of times we got hurt, nobody said nothing. You know what? They held Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they held them to the fire. And so it's part of the game when you get hurt. And like you say it's easy. No, it's only easy because we made it look easy. Some of the Pacers team was a very good team. They can score. People want to downplay the Pacers, but we made it look that way. Jaylen Brown had to hit some shots, and Tatum had to hit some shots. We had a whole team collective effort and everything, but we won those games. And we took care of business. We didn't play with the food. A lot of teams like to say they play with their own food, but we didn't. And that's the mark of a championship team. You beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And that's what you do in the regular season as well, because by far, we've been the best team in the regular season. It carried over into the playoffs. See, people want to spin the narrative and look past the regular season like it don't matter, like we didn't lap the field. Judge here to tell y'all today, the good people of C's Nation, don't buy into that hype. Don't buy into that hype. We've been the best team all year. So if it wasn't that team we was going to face, y'all could have put us in the Western Conference. We would have faced all of them to go to the championship. We don't care, because we do not care. When like my 2018, we don't worry about those other teams. You only worry about your team and what you can control. Judge has resigned.
Judge, I would like to call another narrative to the stand, if I may, please. What would you say? Yes. What would you say to the haters of Joe Mazzulla? Because listen, when you won a championship, you had a veteran in Doc Rivers, who was a veteran coach and veteran player in the league. Joe Mazzulla, still a little bit green, still a little bit wet behind the ears. So, Judge, what would you say to the people that say Joe Mazzulla is in over his skis and not capable of winning a championship?
Yes, the good people of C's Nation, this is again, do not let them fool you. again, we had the best record all year. Joe Mazzulla made some great calls, some great timeouts. Great timeouts. And he did that by all while correcting his team and getting them to where they need to be. It's hard to get that a team like that. Imagine a team that's lapping the field, that's double digits up on the next closest team, number one for a long time. And I think they was number one for like maybe half the season. 48 double-digit leads going into the second half, something like that. It's hard to coach a team like that. What Joe Mazzulla did, he motivated them guys. He really got them to go out there and play hard. He really got them to buy into what he was selling them. And what he was selling is a team concept. It wasn't no Jaylen Brown. It wasn't no Tatum. It wasn't just those two. It was a team concept that he was selling them. And that's what happened when you have a great coach. A great coach. I said great. Because when you get this type of team to play that hard and get to the playoff and take care of business, they get mad at us because we let one game slip away. But to let one game slip away, the other team had to shoot about 60, 70%. That don't happen every year. In every game, it happens rarely. And so you have to have a career night to beat the Celtics. But the coach, I think, was a stable point in the whole season because it's hard to get players to buy in. And it's really hard because I've seen some players not even as talented as Jaylen Brown, White, Tatum, a lot of players we have now, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, they didn't want to buy in. And you know what? Those players get moved. And it's hard to get players like that to buy in. But Joe Mazzulla did a damn good job for that. And the players credited him for getting them going in certain times and not feeling sorry for themselves. And that's what it's all about. And when you can do that, sky's the limit for your team.
No doubt. Counselor Adam, I'm going to let you get a question here, but I just want to yell, you can't handle the truth. Okay, go on.
You handle it.
Very good. Very good, Travis.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder this, right? When we've talked a lot about narratives that exist for the Celtics, for Jason Tatum, now with Joe Mazzulla. All these narratives go away if they win the championship in terms of moving forward, right? Because you're looking at Tatum, who's just turned 26 years old. If he wins the title this year, are those narratives going away? Are they slowing down? How do you see it playing out?
I think those narratives slowing down and slowly going to go away. And the reason why I say slowly, because the media is a little tricky. You know what I'm saying? And when you win, oh, it's not because of you. It's because of Jaylen Brown. Then when you lose, it's because of you, Tatum. You lost. And then when you win the whole thing, they might just say, you know what? That team was injured. Y'all didn't play a 50-win team the whole year. I don't know. But what happens is you can't listen to that. And you got to stay motivated. You got to stay hungry. And if you win the championship, you could listen to them talk all summer long while you riding the wave, hanging out on the beach with your championship. Then you've been in 6 out of 8 conference finals, 2 championship games, and you won one. Yeah, you got a lot to be proud of, especially with this team here. So it wouldn't matter what they try to spin, how they try to spin it, what credit they try to give to who. The judge sees through all that. And I always tell my team and my Seas Nation's people, the good people, the good people of Seas Nation. So always stay focused, eyes on the prize, and don't let the deceivedness come out the way and try to distract you from the truth. We get down to the truth over here.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about that. Leon, I want to do this because, this show's very interactive. We have people hit our hotline and leave us voicemails. We show tweets all the time. We also get emails at the chat at Nesson.com. And one came in for you here. Mark from Drake writes, if you could please give your top 3 teammates you enjoyed playing with and why. He also adds, thank you, Leon, and go Celtics. So give me your top 3 teammates you played with and why.
I'm going to go top 3 Celtics.
Okay.
I'm going to go top 3 Celtics. Thanks for the question. Good question, exactly. I don't like really ranking my teammates. I usually don't do it, but I will do it right now, just for the show.
Okay.
And so coming in at number 3, I would have to put in Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, I seen him when I was coming up, and I ran into him at a USA practice. And everybody know I'm from Oakland, California, and Pete, he's from LA supposedly. But I always told him he got Oakland in him because he was in Oakland for a little bit too as well. And I always, when I look at Pete and I watch him play, he always had that heart, that dog in him. And then so when I got there, he didn't care rookie, not rookie, a good player, not a good player. He always going to challenge you. He always going to challenge you to be your best, to do better, to do more, and never say you can't do anything.
Right.
I had to put him at 3. 2, I had to go with the big ticket. The big ticket, because he showed me, I knew I worked hard. I worked out with Navy SEALs. I did a lot of stuff with them. And I know hard work because I had to work extremely hard to get to where I was at. And it wasn't no easy task after these injuries too, and still be able to get back. And so, but when I walked in and seeing how intense, how dedicated KG was, and then when he finally was able to and wanted to give me some good advice, he did. But he did it with the most KG tone ever. Y'all know how that.
Yes.
He's gonna be a lot of everything going everywhere. It's gonna be a lot of MF everything. So yeah, he did that. But I respect him for that, and he showed me no matter how much stuff you have, no matter how big of a player you get, you always got to treat the game the right way, respect the game, come in there, work hard, ready to play, be a good teammate as well. And then the last one I would say, and I love all my teammates, but this one was Ray Allen, and number one is Ray Allen. He was one of the first ones to keep pulling me to the side. Was like, Leon, look, you got to act like this off the court. We don't need no problems. We don't need this. Not that I was a problem. He always pulled me to the side just to try to give me extra advice. And I'll tell you a little quick story. We was at a little a hangout, where it's like a little place where you just hang out a little bit, lounge around. And I thought Ray Allen was going to meet us over there. And then everybody was like, nah, Ray not coming. He's not coming. I was like, dang, okay, cool. We just go without him. So we went in there, we hanging out, we chilling, having some fun. And then it got time for us to leave. And guess who I seen? Ray Allen just walked right by me. And I looked at him. I said, I thought you wasn't coming. He said, Leon, come here. Come closer. He said, you don't have to tell everybody where you're going to be at. You don't have to let everybody know where you're going to be at all the time, because that can create problems. You just have to do what you got to do, and then you go on about your business. You don't have to be all loud about it. Just remember that. Take that lesson with you. And that stuck with me the whole time, because you could use that in any setting. And Ray Allen gave me some of that advice that was shocking to me. Wow. And I was just like, I didn't even know what to say after that. And he walked off. Yeah. See you at practice tomorrow.
Wow. That's game right there. He gave you that game. Awesome. Well, listen, Leon, you know we love having you on. And I know you're not going to give us everything, especially after that story, but just let us know a little something that's coming. I know you're working on it, Judge.
Yeah, the Judge is working, man. We got like a 3-man crew right now. We working. So Judge Powe is coming to you soon. We're gonna be the only show that judges the media. The only show that have the guts to even talk down to the media. It will be me. It will be me and my show, Judge Powe, Sports Media Court. We're gonna bring it to you on X. If you say something before I leave, or if you say something after, you will be judged for your crimes as well. and so we don't spend. We get at everybody, but we will have that presented on X, and it's you can check out my X handle. It's at Leon_Powe, my name, and we're gonna unload the shows there, and we're gonna see where it goes. And now people want to pick us up. It's gonna cost everybody a pretty penny, because I got to put a lot of work into this. So don't call me talking about some short change and trying to pick me up and put my show to your establishment. Judge Powe say what he want, do what he want, and he don't care. Okay. I want to just let y'all know that too. Thank you. Appreciate it. To the
Man.
good people of Seeds Nations, man, we out of here. We in the building. Hey, y'all, do not get deceived by the media. Do not get deceived by anybody. And if you are, contact your nearest judge, and that's only me, Judge Powe. Contact me.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. President. Leon Powe, we appreciate you. For Travis Thomas and Adam Pellerin and Leon Powe, thank you for rolling with Boston has entered the chat. Peace out.
Yeah.